This is the Roland Bridgecast. This has been my replacement to the famous GOXLR. That device lost a lot of support and it's getting quite old and a lot of people are having hardware issues with it now. I was looking for something that was quite small. There's a lot of large options out there, but this has a lot of the similar I/O and features that the GOXLR had. The main difference between this and the GOXLR would be coming from fader style sliders to knobs. I didn't like this at first, but now I really don't tell that much of a difference and I'm completely used to it. One of the things I liked was the form factor of the Roland Bridgecast. The GOXLR took up a lot of space on my desk, and this has been a welcome change of pace in terms of size. I feel like I have so much more room on my desk now than I had before. Here we can see the size comparison. I would say if you have a Stream Deck XL or two Stream Deck XLs side by side, that's about the size that you can expect with the Roland Bridgecast. It really does leave a lot of room to have both this and a Stream Deck up underneath your monitor without feeling like you're running low on real estate on your desk. Moving on to the I/O on the back of the unit, we have a 5-volt USB power, we have a USB data connection, a toggle switch to switch from console or mobile to PC mode, a line out output for connecting speakers or external monitors, an auxiliary input for plugging in a phone or a guitar amplifier, and then the standard XLR mic input. We also have our headphones/headset output, and this jack is unique because you can use this as both an input and output. It will work with an input for a microphone, or it will work strictly as an output for headphones. One improvement I would like to see was if Roland could move the headphone out jack to maybe in the front of the unit, or potentially have both. I currently have it running behind the unit and then under my desk, so you can't really see it, but I know with such things as the GOXLR Mini, that headphone jack was on the front of the unit, which was also very convenient. Here's a little view with some additional cat hair for you guys just to see. But this is just me panning around the unit, getting a close-up look. The build quality is very solid, however, the metal can attract, in my opinion, any spot of dust or pet hair you might have floating around your office or game room. But overall, the build quality on this unit is very solid. I'm very impressed. Here is how I currently have my I/O set. You do not need to use the 5-volt jack if you have a USB 3.0 header on your PC. It will both power and provide data back to your PC. And then I just have my headset or headphones plugged in and a microphone as well. I love having dedicated knobs, one for the headphone volume, line out volume, and stream volume. These knobs feel very premium. They're slightly firm but smooth. You can adjust the volume of each individually without having to use one of the 4 main volume or mix knobs. That was something I did not like about the GOXLR, as to independently control the headphone volume, I had to sacrifice one of my faders to do that. Here I have a separate knob for stream volume to OBS, my line out, and my headphones. The mixer knobs have a nice satisfying divot, so as you rotate the knob, it clicks firmly into each place so you can really tell exactly how far up or how far down you're turning the knob. It's not smooth like the others, but I think this is a really great design feature. The dedicated volume knobs have a nice hard stop, left and right on them, so you can't turn them too far. The mixer knobs, however, will just keep spinning, but each with a satisfying click. Here's a look at the startup sequence once you turn the Roland Bridgecast on. It remains off when your PC office power is not coming through your USB cable, but once you power up the PC, it does a nice little light show. It will remain powered up and fully ready once all the lights are stable and lit. This was another benefit over the GOXLR, as you had to purchase a separate cable to plug into the end of the power adapter with a little switch on it if you wanted to turn the unit off fully. There's a couple different options for metering on this device. Currently I have it set so that the lights around the dials indicate at what volume the mixer for the given channel is set to. As you turn the knob up or down, the lights raise or lower to let you know the volume, as well as the knob illumination turns on and off to indicate if you are muted. The second option is a metered option. Here I have some music playing on my PC, and as you can see, I can turn the volume down, and as the music plays, the light will rise to the level of the volume. I don't particularly like this option as it doesn't seem super reliable to me. Sometimes you can clearly see the volume of the music, but it never really seems consistent. It does turn down the metered option slightly to show you volume level right when you first start to turn it, but then when you release it and it starts playing, it's often very unreliable. But again, the knob illumination turns off once the fader is muted. You can set these options in the app, which we'll discuss in a second. Another mute option you have is instead of the illumination turning off, you can set it to blink. I find this distracting, so I have mine set to turn off illumination. Now we take a look at the app on the PC. Here you can clearly see I have music playing on the game/speaker channel. As I turn the knob down, you can see the volume lowers on the given channel. The mixer has the option of a personal mix that you can hear in your headphones, as well as a stream mix that it can send to OBS. These can be controlled independently or at the same time. You can link or unlink them by clicking a little link button below the volume slider, and as you move the knob, they will either move together or separately depending on what you've chosen. If they are unlinked, you can quickly select which mix you choose to adjust the volume on with a little button right on the front of the Roland Bridgecast. There is also a button directly above this to link the mixes right on the unit itself. Here you can see the changes reflected inside the app as I switch between the stream mix to the personal mix and back again. When you select each one, now you can independently control the volume on the fly right from the unit. This is great because it means you never really have to go into the app at all. Here you can select the audio channel that a knob will control. I keep it pretty standard with one channel for music, Discord, and my system sounds. You can also select the function of the mute button. They can mute, mute to stream, mute to all, mute to your personal, or any of the other options shown. There really is unlimited possibilities on this. Here you can select the mic setup. You can choose from dynamic or condenser or a headset if you're plugged in with a headset to the back of the headphone jack. As with any good mixer, you have a ton of options for setting up the sound of your microphone, as well as a very detailed equalizer, including an advanced section where you can further adjust the different bands that you wish to adjust. Although not as easy as the GOXLR, you do have several options for different mic effects here. They can be controlled in the app or directly on the unit by selecting the mic effect button to turn them on, and then another select button to cycle through the different types of effects you would like. There's also several rotary knobs to control pitch and format. I have to say, I almost never use these, and I never really use them on the GOXLR either, but it is nice that Roland has included them should you wish to try. As you turn the knobs left and right, this does adjust in the app the pitch and format, as you can see here reflected in the app. As I'm turning the knobs left and right, you can see the sliders moving in the app. Again, it is nice to have these controls directly on the unit, so you never really have to go into the app unless you need to see something specific. I use the game channel as my music channel. I do this because it's the only channel that seems to have this level of a detail equalizer on it. This is great for tuning music, how I like to listen to it. I don't typically ever include music in a stream, so it's nice to have that running in the background in the way I like to hear it. Again, the equalizer is very detailed. A feature I have not seen on other mixers is the ability to tune your teammate's voice in Discord, similar to your own mic. This is a very interesting feature that I don't think I have ever used, but I'm sure someone out there would have a use for it, and it's really nice to see that they've included this. Moving on to the output tab, you have several options here. I have to confess I really haven't played with these very much, but you do have the ability to change the way some of the outputs function on the device. In the Profile tab, you have the ability to create a profile with all of the settings that you have done previously and save it. This is a common feature I feel like that most mixers have, so nothing really to write home about here. And in the last tab, the System tab, you have the ability to update firmware, change some indicator types between the level and the meter, and also change the behavior of the mute buttons, as well as some headphone boosts, but the preamps in the headphones are pretty great. Bridgecast does offer a paid subscription service with sound effects and copyright-free music. I have never used this option either. I feel like there's a lot of options out there for that already. I hope this was helpful. I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this specific mixer, and I'm not really sure why. I feel like for me, this hit all the main features that I was looking for in a mixer. I love the size, I love the build quality. It's really nice having something nice, sturdy, metal on my desk versus something made of plastic. I really hope this helped you guys, and maybe if you're thinking about buying this mixer, now you have more information to give it a shot. I've seen it as low as $250, $280, and as high as $300 before. I really enjoy the size on this mixer. I feel like it sits so perfectly on my desk. I can either have it up under my monitor with my Stream Deck, or, as I have done lately, I put it off to my right side next to my mouse so that it's easily reachable to make quick adjustments on the fly. Out of a 1 through 10, I would give this mixer probably a solid 8. I do miss the faders from time to time, but that might be hard to do in this footprint. As always, I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Feel free to leave a comment with your question. I always try to answer all of them if I can, or send me a message directly at the contact on my YouTube channel. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one.